God bless everyone. Judy here. Welcome to Faith School number 50. Let me wave. Hello, hello, hello. God bless everyone. Life is good. When we're with God, life is good. So, a fruit of the spirit is joy. So let's the fruit of the spirit is not misery, depression, and sorrow. I'm not saying you don't have moments like that, but we live mostly in the fruit of the spirit. That's the goal. So, welcome to Faith School 50. And God said this to me in 2023. He said, Judy, don't expect to be here, but if you wake up here in 2024, I want you to start a faith school and I want you at least 3 days a week, shoot for it, to help prepare me a people that when I come, will I find faith and teach them, and I'll be the teacher. Please facilitate for me. So that's what I'm doing. God is our teacher. He's our leader. He's our everything. I have a really exciting faith school testimony today and huge lesson that I learned experientially, which is my favorite. I don't preach on anything unless unless I've experienced it. That's what the Lord has required of me in this last hour. So I'm very excited about today. And what I'm going to talk about is when God says something to you, and then everything comes against you like it's the exact opposite. Like as soon as he tells you, like within hours sometimes, everything says just the opposite. And I'm going to talk about that. And I'm going to talk about the concept of partial obedience being full disobedience. As I know we think, well, I did most everything God told me, but I didn't do it all. I just didn't. I did 9 out of 10. That's good enough. Partial obedience is disobedience. So how do these two things connect with faith school? I'm about to teach you. So faith is believing what God tells us, and faith is assuming that my sheep hear my voice and they know me. I'm assuming that you are talking with the Lord and he's communing with you and you're walking in both Rhema and Logos. And if you're not, I'm challenging you. That's the goal of the gospel. God made a way through his son, Jesus Christ, for you to go directly into the Holy of Holies and talk and communicate with him. So that's what the people of God should be doing. But some of you are still going through others, and there's going to be a price to pay for that. You'll be left behind because God's not marrying someone he doesn't know. So my sheep hear my voice and they know me. So I'm going to talk about, God told me I got an upgrade recently. I used to joke around because God's always been my physician. Even when I had great jobs and health benefits, I would elect to get more money and not have the health benefits because he kept me so healthy. And if I needed to go to the dentist, I would just pay out of pocket, like God. And then, so God has been I'm very confident in him being my physician and the physician for my whole family. But what he hasn't been is my dentist, my vet, or my cardiologist. And most people don't need a cardiologist, except if you're like me and you have issues that I likely inherited from my father, who died prematurely of a massive heart attack at 45. I was told when I was having breathing issues and all kinds of things going on after God fell on my son that I needed to see a cardiologist. I asked the Lord. He said, if you follow me, I will keep your heart going. You don't need to go on medicine and all that. So I have had issues off and on with my heart, but it hasn't kept me from doing anything God has told me to do. And I continue. Continued to be very athletic. I continued just to walk with him, knowing he has my heart, my literal physical beating heart. So one of the things me and God joked about is I said, God, I spend thousands on the dentist. And I was just wondering, like, you've been really good at as a physician. Why and you've been very good as a vet. Like, if you guys don't know the story about him giving my dog 2 new teeth when I went to the vet to have them pulled, it's a big, huge story. You'll just have to go find it. I can put a link, but I've seen God do veterinary miracles. Although we do go to the vet, and I call it blessing the economy when we do, because there's nothing wrong with going to a doctor, a dentist, an optometrist, a cardiologist, none of that. There's nothing wrong with any of that unless God has told you don't go and trust me. So I was joking with the Lord because mostly me and God deal mostly in humor, because he does have me on some pretty serious assignments. And so we mostly, to keep it lighthearted and joyful, we mostly joke about everything, me and God. So that's my relationship with him. You have yours. But God knows the way he made me, just sense of humor is everything. And if he can make me laugh, he has my heart. So I just said, God, like, can you be my dentist already? I'm tired of paying dental bills. And I heard him say one day, I crossed over, he promoted me, like, because of my obedience and stuff. He'll be our dentist. We haven't gone to the dentist in a year and a half, and that's unusual for us. But and everyone's fine, and I'm just like, wow, okay, this is great, because we always get our teeth cleaned, well, at least once or twice a year and stuff. But and so the other day he told me, he said, you've been upgraded. Like, I will be not only your physician, your cardiologist, your vet, and your dentist. Because I've been asking him for years to be our dentist, because I was like, I'm tired of going to the dentist. So we joke around. And so he told me that. Well, Friday, the 24th of May, last Friday, I went to go walk Bubs early in the morning. It was our last day at a certain place, and then we were headed to a 2-day hotel and then over to the final East Coast, where we are right now, our West Coast. My cat, Bubs, our cat, we've had since he was 5 weeks old. He's 11 years old, and he is my son Nate's very best friend, and like obsessed with him. And he's just our bundle of joy. And he basically controls our lives on the road, and it's loads of fun. And I took him on a walk, and we were in Arizona. And I'm not really familiar with, we never have stayed there, just except to pull over and get gas. But God said to stay there and to declare for a week. And I'm familiar with deserts, but I wasn't paying attention when I was walking Bubs. And I let him chew this hard, like, cactus grass. And normally I'm on it. And Bubs is a first generation feral cat. So he is very smart. He's a great hunter. Before we took him on the road with us, I mean, he was an indoor outdoor cat with a nice backyard and house, and he would catch all these animals, and we'd save most of them, even a squirrel. He's just a very good hunter. And so he's smart. So I'm like, well, you're not going to eat something that's going to hurt you, you know? But I do let him eat grass if I think it hasn't been sprayed. But he got a hold of some thick type of cactus grass, and I caught him. I'm like, oh, wait, get away from there, because that's going to get stuck in your throat or something. So I pulled him away, but it was too late. And it wasn't a type of cactus grass that I've seen in the desert I'm used to in California. So Arizona, just a little bit different. I'm sure it was same variety, but it was too late. It was stuck, and he was wheezing and gasping and coughing. And I was like, oh, great. I've never had it happen, but I've always feared it, because I know he loves to chew grass, and I don't know if they know the difference between poison stuff. So I'm always pretty vigilant when I take him out walking on his leash, or I let him off the leash, that I just pay attention to what he's getting his nose into. Anyway, how is this faith story? I'm about to show you a video, and this is related because no sooner did God give me that word that I was upgraded to he's going to be our dentist. Now, I'm not saying I'm never going to a dentist, a doctor, a vet, or a cardiologist. I'm not saying that I'm never going to go, because God can make you do whatever he wants you to do. But he told me I was upgraded. So I'm assuming that means that I don't have to go to anymore. I'm used to never going to a doctor, so that I'm fine with that. But no sooner I got challenged, my cat is very sick. Like, it happened instantly, early in the morning on Friday morning. Now, don't forget, we have to check out in the morning of the place we're staying promptly by 10. We're going to be at a 2-day hotel in this area, and then we're off hundreds of miles to the West Coast, California, another state. So, like, if you're going to have some kind of vet emergency, this was the wrong time to have it. So I bring him back in, and he's gagging and coughing and choking. And I was like, God was testing me. I told you I'd be your vet. And it was very difficult for me. So I'm going to show you the video that I took so you understand how difficult this was for me. First of all, we love our cat. Second of all, I always, if there's anything wrong with my animals, pray over them and call a vet right away. But I was being challenged by the Lord that not to be doing this. And I'm watching my cat gasping, wheezing, and not doing well. And I'm devastated. And I'm like, God, can I please? But he didn't allow me, and I didn't have the resources anyway to go to a vet. But I was very upset. So I'm going to show you a video. So if you're squeamish or things make you sad, please do not watch this, because personally, it was horrible. So I'm going to show you what he looked like. And this went on for almost 10 hours. There's what he looked like on the patio. And here's a video. He was actually a homeless. Okay, I had some. I am Monique's Bridal downtown, and I give him a chair to sit and read his books. He works for a company that does just like temp agency. So this is what he was doing all day. Let me play that again. He was actually a homeless man, but he was beloved by the people that knew him. How do you know work? I am Monique's Bridal downtown, and I give him a chair to sit and read his books. He works for a company that does just like temp agency, and they were the ones that actually contacted. Can you guys see that? Sorry, I had a news thing on the background. So you can see what bad shape he's in. Okay, he can barely lift his head. He's in bad shape. Like, help me. Okay. My son's upset. He's like, Mom, we have to take him. I'm like, son, number one, God said he'd be our vet. Number two, I literally don't have the resources. I literally do not. So the local vet was going to charge $195 just to look at him. It was the emergency vet. I checked into stuff, but it's just, there was no provision. A, B, God said that. No sooner did God give me that word that I was challenged. And I want to talk about this concept of faith, where God tells you something and everything he tells you comes against it. Now, I've had situations where God tells me something and everything happens exactly like he said. Like, he told me, you'll have a Sprinter van. Boom, it'll show up. You'll never go shopping. It'll come right to you. That literally happened to me. I've had situations where God says something and boom. And so faith is not challenged. It's like God said it, it happened, boom, 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 awesome. Then there's other situations where God tells you something and everything on earth is challenged what he just said. So that you're like, did I really hear that? Do I really believe that? So this happened first thing in the morning. You see the video. You saw what Bubs looked like. He's hiding under beds. He's struggling to breathe, not eating, not drinking, not anything, just very bad, very bad. And like looking at us like, help me, I can't breathe. He was able to breathe, but it was not good. It was his breathing was laborious. You saw his eyes. He was just bad. Okay. So I'm standing in faith, but my son's getting increasingly like agitated, which I don't blame him. I was too agitated, but I was like, Nate, like, we just have to trust the Lord. He said he would be our vet. He told me that. I heard it so clear. And so I'm going to believe that he's going to do this like he's been our physician, like he's everything. And my son understood that there was no money because often we travel with just $20 in our pocket, and that's okay. The Lord has really promoted me to trust him with with nothing. And so it's okay. Like we promoted and purified has been, it's a beautiful path of trust with the Lord. And we're all on our own journey with him, and we're only required to trust according to what he's circumstances he's challenged us in. So my son went about his day. I went about my day, but as it became later in the day. So this happened at 7 a.m. So it's 6 o'clock at night. And I'm like, God, I will not be able to sleep tonight. And I have to travel, and we have to pack tomorrow, and we have to go to a 2-day hotel. And I'm fasting, and I'm on like day 15 or 16. I can't take it. Like I can't, I'm devastated over this. Please just either kill him while he's right now, because I can't stand seeing him suffer. And you said you'd be our vet. Well, where are you? Like, I know what I heard, and I've seen you be my physician. You've taken care of my heart all these years. I mean, and you gave Marty 2 new teeth. So I know you're a good vet. So I'm asking you, Lord, I know I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. Please have mercy on me. I don't think the cat's going to make it through the night. I really don't. Look at him. And the video that I took from you was early in the day. The video you just saw, I didn't take a video later in the day where he was much worse. And so here's where faith kicked in. Everything said, God's not your vet. You're screwed in the natural. Now, I have some friends that love me and pray for me. And I was asking them to pray, and 3 people said they could contribute a little bit toward a vet. And because I cried at 6 p.m. So we're talking 12 hours later, basically. I said, Lord, I was outside. I just got on my face, and I said, you need to kill the cat instantly. But I didn't think he wanted to kill the cat. Like I felt like he's told me the cat's getting raptured, like he's your blessing. So I'm like, well, then do something, because this is, so either provide the money for the vet, be our vet, or take him home. This is horrible. Like, I was crushed. But the fact that I could go 12 hours and not break until the 12th hour that's huge for me. So my progress of faith and trust is really growing, because normally if I see any of my animals suffering, not even an hour, especially if something's lodged in your throat when you can't breathe, that's very serious. So I would have had him at the vet, but the new me is like walking in obedience. There's nothing wrong with going to a vet. Please go to a vet if the Lord is showing you. These are beautiful doctors. They're beautiful people. I love veterinarians. I support the economy. But we have to walk in the Spirit and do what God tells us. So this video is not about don't go to the doctor, don't go to the vet, don't go to the cardiologist, don't go to the dentist. This video is about do what the Lord says with your life, what you're supposed to do each moment. And that's what real faith is, walking with him. So 3 separate people offered to help me with the vet bill. They couldn't do much, but they were so sweet. And I know the people, and they're in situations where they're not anyway. And so I was tempted, because one of my prayers was either provide Like, take him home fast or heal him. Be my vet. You said you would be the vet. I'm holding out for that. Miraculously make this thing come out of his throat. And so I had 3 offers of help, and I just didn't want to do it because I felt like it was the lesser call. I felt like taking him to the vet would be wrong. I called a vet. I got one lined up, but I just wasn't happy about it. I'm like, God, you told me this morning you would be my vet. You'd be a vet for my animals. You said you promoted me and have purified this walk that I will no longer need dentists or cardiologists, which I never went to anyway. But dentists, we haven't gone to for a year and a half, and that's huge for us. That's huge. And a vet. And I'm like, okay, because he told me times are coming where America's going to be like a third world and we need to rely on him for everything. That's what he told me. And so I was like, what should I do with these? And then I said, I know. And God said, get all 3 people that offered to help pay on the phone. So I got all 3 of the people on the phone and a 4th person, Stevie, for my sanity. If you guys know who Stevie is, she's a huge, wonderful blessing of a supernatural faith girl. And I had her on the phone just for my sanity because she's good at making me laugh and keeping me strong. And so I said, hi guys, all 3 of you, 2 of you, none of you have met, and some of you really don't know each other, but the 3 of you on the phone and the 4th, Stevie, who's just there for my sanity, have offered to help with Bubs, but I really have a hard time receiving any help because I really believe that he said he would be my vet, but I do have someone lined up, but I just want to ask God and double check. I don't want God to let my foot slip, but I really wasn't feeling good about bringing him to a vet. And I wasn't feeling, and I said, so everyone on the phone, can you please ask the Lord again if you were supposed to offer? Because I'm thinking, did people offer to help because they just felt so sorry for Bubs and me? Or did they really hear the Lord? Because I was just not settled. But at the same time, I don't want my cat to die. So God knew that I did not want to dishonor him by taking resources that I really didn't feel like I should take and going to a vet and stuff. And so, because just that very day, he said, I will be your vet. So I'm like, well, if you're my vet, then that means I don't go to one. If you're my doctor, I haven't gone to doctor for years. I mean, like, I don't even, just years. Okay. And, anyway, while we were on the phone, suddenly, like, we're all praying and talking and all 3 people, and we're just on the phone. I not even 10 minutes. And Nate's like, Mom, hurry. Like, I'm like, what? He goes, he's throwing it up. He's throwing it up. And he's throwing up all these, like, this hard stick cactus, like grass. And it looks like there's blood in the throw up. So it probably cut him up real good. I'm going to show you a picture of the throw up. It just felt like it was important to document all this. So here's a picture on the bed. But if you look closely, and there was more, there's red dots where it was blood. But there's the cactus grass. And those are big, huge, thick. And there's more. But anyway, there was more than just that. But that's part of it. Anywho. And I was like, what? And everyone on the phone started laughing. And I'm like, we got our miracle. So I was so excited. I'm like, guys, I don't think I need to take them. I didn't think I was supposed to. Yay. And I was just overjoyed. And everyone was laughing. And it was wonderful. But here was the issue. It wasn't done yet. It just wasn't done yet. So what do you mean by that? Well, he threw up, but he was still gagging and wheezing, and he wasn't able to eat and drink on his own, but he was trying to, but he just couldn't. He was coughing, so he was still terribly sick, but the throw up was enough to get me we got off the phone. I said, guys, I'm not I appreciate your offers of veterinary help, but I believe this gave me enough faith to believe he said he would be my vet. He's going to be my vet. Thank you for your love for us and my cat. And I love you guys so much. And we got off the phone. But then that fear came back because I was very encouraged. So I called that vet and I'm just like, we're not coming in. Thank you anyway. And they're like, no problem. It was Memorial Day weekend. So, I was going to get charged up the wazoo. But anyway, it's not about money. It's about the Lord. We don't do things in anything based on how much it costs, how much it doesn't cost. We do it based on, did the Lord say go? If the Lord said go, you go. But he told me he'd be the vet. So this issue of faith and being directly challenged is going to happen. And my question to you is, do we stay in faith? Well, God knew I wanted to stay in faith, but I was just really struggling. I'm seeing a cat that looks like it's going to die and not make it through the night. So anyway, we spent, he did, so got off the phone. The cat, Bubs, was not 100%, but I was able to sleep because God and his mercy allowed Bubs to eat a little bit and drink a little bit. And that made me know, like, I just had the total peace of God that I told you I'd be your vet, and I will. And I was so excited. This is a wonderful testimony because I'm not the only one that's going to be in this position. As America becomes more and more like a third world, there are many of you listening right now. You won't go to an optometrist. You won't be able to go to a dentist. You won't be able to go to a vet. You won't be able to go to a physician. And you won't have your medications. And are you going to trust the Lord if we see these times before we get raptured? And my question to you is, start exercising faith now, developing trust. And so we were thrilled. I woke up the next morning. More food that I had left out was eaten, and Bubs had a bowel movement and he was drinking. He still wasn't 100%. He couldn't purr. He couldn't meow. And if you know our cat, he's like a goat. He just, I mean, it's hysterical. He's really funny. He's just an unusual cat. And everyone says that about their animal, the best, the craziest, the funniest, but he is, okay? He is. And the picture that you see on the channel declaring this channel is a picture of Bubs. So that's really Bubs on our channel. It's really funny. He's got googly eyes. If you go to the thumbnail of our channel, and I'll show you a cute little, in the van, we have a cat. When we drive the van, we have a cat perch in the window. I mean, this cat is a big part of our life. So yeah, we drive down the road and Bubs sits in the window looking out. Yeah, so he's kind of a big deal. I'll show you. Here's a video I took of Bubs chilling on his cat window. That's when we were in Colorado. He's so funny. And Marty's jealous because he knows dogs drool, cats roll. Anyway, so enjoy that. But so the next day we're packing up and Bubs, he still isn't well, and my son is like, Mom, but he's not 100%. We probably should still get him looked at. And I'm like, but God said he's going to be the vet. So he's going to get better. He's going to get better. And the next 2 days we were at one night hotels. And then we were going to hit the road to where we are now. And God was taking care of him. I got challenged a few more times because he seemed like he wasn't feeling well, but then boom, he'd feel better. And when I got challenged, I just said, no, God, you're our vet. You said you'd be the vet. So you are the great vet. And I trust you. And I just kept saying that. And I said, Nate, I trust him. Bubs is going to be better. And so, long story short, to give you the end, and this is going to be the end of Faith School, this testimony and this teaching through a direct story, is that on this day, so this happened Friday, May 24th, and it is now Wednesday, May 29th. Bubs not only is he better, he's better than he was before, which doesn't make sense. Like Nate's like, Mom, is it possible for this cat to be any happier? any better. He's purring, he's meowing, he's eating, he's drinking. He's just he's just the best. He's 11 years old. And he is doing so great. And God, what he said he would do, he absolutely did. He did it even when it didn't look like it, though. That's the whole point of this faith school today, is God did it even when it looked like he wasn't doing it. When I was looking at Bubs and showing and seeing the video that I showed you at the beginning, that was horrible and it got uglier. And I didn't videotape that part. Even then, God was like, he's okay. I'm in charge. I'm the vet. But in my eyes, didn't think he was okay. So to everyone listening, you are going to have circumstances, and so am I, and so did people in the Bible, where God said something and your eyes said, but it's not true. God said, I'm your vet. God said, Bub's okay, but it's not true. He's not okay. He's choking every 5 minutes. He can't breathe. He's having a hard time breathing. He's not eating or drinking. He's sick and he's looking to me for help. And there's nothing I can do. I'm completely helpless. It's a horrible feeling to have no control. We have to trust the Lord. And so I'm asking you and encouraging you that one of the things we're learning in faith school this week is God says something, we believe it, that settles it. And I know that's an old expression, but it's so true. And so even though my eyes are seeing something different, my heart of faith says, I know what my eyes are seeing, but my faith is greater than what my eyes are witnessing. And God is going to take care of it. And God absolutely did. And Bubs is running around again. I'll show, if you watch the morning service this morning, you can see that he's out and about, but I made a video. He loves to
Good news, Nate. He's better. He ate last night, he drank, he slept right next to me. He's out here doing car inspections. He's been on a walk all morning. God is good. We got our miracle. So thank you, Lord. And even though he's not eating and drinking a ton, he's on his way. So praise God. Anyway, if you want to get that
okay,
that
so
pizza that at that other
anyway,
place.
so that's the deal.
Well, we got it.
And so Bubs likes to he does free car inspections in parking lots. Like, he'll check your brakes, he'll check your oil, all your fluids, and that is complimentary to everywhere we travel. Isn't he amazing? Yeah, so he loves to sniff everyone's cars. I don't know what the smell is on there that animals love. Maybe it's all the insect guts. But yeah, so he was out doing his free inspections, no charge. And he's good, you know? So I just want to tell you, keep the faith. God bless everyone. I love you, and we'll see you in the air. Bye.